Alright, so question 44. Question 44 says, if 15 or 115% of a number is 460, what is 75% of that number? So 115 or 115% of a number is equal to 460. Well, 100% of some number x. So 115%, to change numbers into percent, you just times by 100. So to change it back into a regular number, we just divide 115 by 100. We're left with 1.15 times some number x will be equal to 460. So we can solve for the original number by dividing by 115 on both sides, and that will be equal to 460 divided by, that'll be equal to 400. So the original number was 400, and 115% of 400 is equal to 460. But then it wants to know, what is 75% of this number? What is 75% of this number? So 75% is equal to 3/4, or we could just do 75 divided by 100, 75% to change into 3/4. And it might help to think of it like this at 100%, and then these will cancel out. But 75% of 400 will be equal to 300. And that's the answer. So we'll go on to question number 45. And it says, what is the distance in the standard xy coordinate plane between the points 1, 0 and 0, 5? So the quick way to do this is just to use the distance formula, which says, so the distance formula, distance between any 2 points is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And we've used this a few times, and you may be wondering, where do we actually get this formula from? It just can't pop out of nowhere. So I guess it's good to know the intuition. I mean, you wouldn't really want to do what I'm about to do on the actual test. Just to save time, you could just throw it into that formula. But it's good to know like why this is, why you can use this. So let's pretend we have a point here and a point here on the coordinate plane, and this has the let's say it has the coordinates 3, 1, and this has the coordinates 1, 4. So we can pretend that this, if we draw a straight line down, if we make a triangle out of these 2 points, or 3 points, with the third point being right here, if we make a triangle out of this, we can see that the hypotenuse, this hypotenuse, if we pretend that this is a right angle, because we do straight lines out, the hypotenuse would then be the distance, right? So how would we find the hypotenuse regularly? Well, we would take the x value right here, square it, and times it by the y value. We could use Pythagorean's theorem, so we'd have x squared plus y squared will be equal to, we can call this hypotenuse z, or the distance equals z, so that would be equal to z squared. So z would be equal to, z is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. And what is x in this picture? Well, it's just this x value, which is 3, minus this point's x value, which is 1, right? So we just have 3 minus 1 would be equal to the x value. 3 minus 1 is equal to x. And then we'd square that, and we'd do the same for y. That y value minus that y value, which is 4 minus 1, which is equal to 3. And you can see that it matches exactly what we're doing up here. We're taking the x value of one of them, subtracting it from the other one to find the total x value, and then squaring that, plus the y value of the second one minus the y value of the first one, squaring that, and square rooting. And so now we can just apply it to our problem, and we would have 5 minus 0 for the y's, so 5 squared, plus 0 minus 1, which is negative 1 squared. And we can square root that whole thing, and that would be equal to the square root of 26. And that's the answer. I'll see you in the next video.